Bob?
Looks like he didn't get your memo either, Bob.
Okay, light his bedroom.
Thanks. What are you doing here, Bob?
Nobody told you?
Nobody told me?
That makes two.
Two?
Nobody told Anna either. You see, we're shooting a video on personal hygiene, and now you are our lucky star. Co-star.
Well, you might as well come in, too.
I had one of these when I was your age.
Surprised they had electricity back then.
Wow, you really are a puzzle aficionado. You're good. In fact, you're the perfect person to put the pieces of the personal hygiene puzzle together.
All right, except for one thing.
Which is?
There is no puzzle, just common sense. If you work in the food industry, you have to make a commitment to good personal hygiene and a commitment to following the rules, the GMPs, good manufacturing practices.
I couldn't have said that better myself. We're here in Michael's bedroom today, and the first thing he's going to do this morning is to take a hot shower.
Well, the first thing I'm going to do this morning is to see how I feel.
How you feel?
You bet. And I feel great, Bob. But if I had flu symptoms, such as fever, diarrhea, vomiting, or cramps, I'd stay right here at home and call in.
If you had all the symptoms, you'd call an ambulance.
But seriously, Michael, if you were sick, you could easily spread disease and bacteria to the food you were working on and infect the people who eat it.
And as I do every morning while taking my shower, I like to give myself a once-over to look for any open cuts or sores. Staph could grow there, which could be passed on to the food I'm processing and the people who eat it, making them sick. So, I cover anything that looks suspicious with a Band-Aid, just to be on the safe side. And then I put on fresh, clean laundered clothes, and then I walk to work. Look, gee, Bob, it's getting late.
Relax, we'll get you to work on time.
But I'm not even dressed.
Hang on, I've still got a few TV tricks up my sleeve.
Oh, cool. Could you come by every morning?
I could get used to this.
Thank you for sharing your morning ritual with us, Michael. I can't think of anything you left out.
Well, you wouldn't, Bob, because you're a man. But Michael didn't mention removing fake nails, nail polish, and jewelry before starting work. Obviously, those things can fall into the food and the equipment area. And also, jewelry can harbor dead skin, oil, and dirt, and the microorganisms that can cause foodborne illnesses. Bacteria can hide in the tiny cracks and crevices of the jewelry and the skin around it. I know that you realize that what you do affects a lot of people all over the country, and that if we're not committed to being clean and we're working clean, we can also cause a lot of harm.
So where does that ring go?
In my locker, with all of my personal belongings. See, the locker room is isolated from the production areas, and that reduces the chance of cross-contamination from microorganisms, which could be on my clothes, or in this case, my jewelry. Come on.
I did notice we're far away from any food or food-related equipment.
That's right. We want to prevent any possibility of cross-contamination. Whoops. This can't stay here.
You could just leave that in your locker, couldn't you?
No way. Food in here could attract mice and rats. They could contaminate our work clothes, and then we could contaminate the food we're working with. I'll just go put this in the lunchroom.
What, no, Michael? Let me guess. Candy bar, huh?
Gum.
At least he knows to go put it in the lunchroom. He's a responsible kid. So, do I look like a movie star?
Lovely. And I think I look equally handsome and ready for work.
You do. You know, you may think this is corny, but I kind of think of us as doctors, because what we do affects the health of so many people and our families too. So I don't mind all of this, and I'm very committed to following the exact rules and procedures before and during work. I'll give you an example. While you were gabbing with young Michael, I used the restroom. So then I put on my hairnet, you know, to prevent hair from falling into food or in the food product areas. And then I put on a beard net.
What?
Just a joke. Oh, and by the way, if you have long hair, the best thing to do is put it in a braid or ponytail, so all the hair is under restraint. So anyway, I put on my hairnet, I put on my frock and my boots, and then I properly washed my hands for at least 20 seconds using the following 7 steps. Okay? 1, I get the water as hot as I can stand. 2, I use the antibacterial germicidal soap or sanitizer my company provides. 3, I scrub. I really scrub to make sure the soap covers every part of my hand. 4, I make sure I clean between my fingers because that's where dirt and germs can hide. 5, I clean under my fingernails using a nail brush. And I'm particularly careful to clean under my fingernails after I use a restroom because that's a place where fecal matter can hide and that could contaminate the food that I'm working on. Now step 6 is to rinse my hands in hot water thoroughly to make sure all the soap comes off. And step 7 was to dry my hands completely using a disposable towel.
Got it. And now you're all set for the day.
Not quite, Bob. See, the best way is to double wash my hands using all 7 steps again. So I do. And I'll be using the hand dip station, and I'll be re-washing my hands many times throughout the day, changing my sleeve protectors, my frock, and my gloves. I'll give you an example. When I work on different food products or go from raw to finished food product areas, and of course after I go to lunch.
And after using the restroom. But you have to remember that even double hand washing only reduces the amount of bacteria on our hands. It doesn't totally eliminate it. That's why putting on your PPE in the proper order is so important, and using the hand dip station if there is one.
Well, I guess we're ready to go back to work.
Just about, but what I like to do is a kind of mental checklist just before I step through the foot bath.
Like what, Michael?
I just double check my personal hygiene. I check to make sure my work clothes are spotless, mentally check to make sure I rewash my hands after lunch or using the restroom.
And make sure not to bring any non-food items into the production area.
Thanks.
What about you, Anna?
Well, I'm not as formal as Michael is with this fancy mental checklist, but I pretty much go through the same things.
Well, I guess we're ready to go back to the line and get to work.
Actually, first I'll check that my hairnet, my earplugs, and my frock are in place before washing my hands.
Using all 7 steps.
Then, and only then, do I put on any other PPE, personal protective equipment, that I'll be using for that particular food product line.
And your personal protective equipment would be?
Things like our gloves, plastic sleeves, protective aprons, and frocks. PPEs protect me and the people who eventually eat the food I process here.
The really critical thing to remember, Bob, is that the order in which you put on your PPE is critical.
That's right, Anna. You put your gloves on before you put on your plastic sleeves or apron. That way, you don't cross-contaminate your PPE with any bacteria that could still be on your hands after hand washing. By putting the gloves on first, bacteria doesn't have a chance to get onto your sleeves.
That makes sense.
It's like I told you this morning, Bob. Personal hygiene isn't a mystery or a puzzle. It's just common sense. You make a commitment to personal cleanliness and a commitment to follow the rules, the good manufacturing practices.
I couldn't have
Said it better yourself? We know.
And now your co-stars have to make a personal appearance on the line.
Our public awaits, Anna.
Autographs to sign.
And hands to wash.